Hello and welcome again to Safety Short Series. Today's topic is about accident prevention. In our last video, we understood why accidents happen. So today, from why, we go to how it can be prevented. So prevention of accident. It is a task best understood by proper responsibility allocation throughout the organization. While the various duties and responsibilities of for safety could be delegated and management function itself in an organizing, planning, directing and controlling from the ultimate objective of obtaining freedom from industrial accident cannot be delegated. Safety, no doubt, is everyone's business, but it requires management sustained efforts to ensure that the accident prevention program works successfully. Accident accident prevention in first place is knowing organizational goal. Everyone likes to have, an organization with zero accident and zero harm. Yes, it's possible. While well understood concept and approach is the key to achieving it. Many organizations put in various efforts, to identify, implement costly and effective system in place, and analysis show how these things benefit. Yes, it's true, but not all size of organization, not true for all size of organization. Now, sometimes the implementation of such system becomes overburdening to employees and organizations as well. This brings us to today's topic, in brief topic on accident prevention. Let's see what we have. Let's understand how management control or how its approach is important and what are the tools that help in achieving it. Firstly, management control is divided in three parts. We have divided the function of management control into eliminating unsafe condition, discovering causes and eliminating unsafe actions. Now, eliminating unsafe condition means this is possible by defining the approach, but how we will, we'll see it one by one. Correct? Then discovering causes, which means we must understand what can cause and how accidents will be caused. And finally, eliminating unsafe action means individuals or group of people who cause them. So, what we do about them? Correct? So now that all three are listed, let us understand it by the 3M principle. Remember 3Ms? We discussed man, machine and material. So first is eliminating unsafe condition, means machine. Now, machine conditions are caused in area consisting of equipment, machine, infrastructures, building structures. So our approach from management point of view is to eliminate unsafe condition, and that can be, caused. So what do we do about how to start with? It's a simple approach. Let's see how. First, we want to eliminate unsafe condition. So first we must understand that what we have to do. So first is safeguard all machines, equipment, workplace, placing them in right, making sure there is enough space to go around and maintain them. It's not only about, operation, but also maintaining them. So making provision that machine access is clear and placement is such that there is no obstruction. Now the second point in this is rectifying or preventing defective conditions. When defective conditions come, when we don't anticipate placement of machine, some obstructions or where, door is opening, there is another thing, placed near it when we want to take out, something, but structure will obstruct it. Machine might develop, defect in long run, so you must consider which part will require major or minor removal and whether we have such space or not. Like example, you want to do some major repairs in a machine, but you don't have space to keep the removed component near, so it's kept hanging. All this is required to be anticipated. Now the third thing that comes to mind is suitable, safe design and construction. Now suitable, safe design and construction. Most establishment safe design does not only mean that it has proper access or guards. It also means that while operating the machine, while maintaining, you have accessed possible point, assess possible points where a person will be and where and what kind of precautions will be needed to perform that task well or safely, like placement of emergency switches or guards that stops the sudden impact or on individual performing maintenance, designing. So these are designing fail-safe mechanisms, correct, where a person even intentionally also cannot do thing wrong, for machine would not move unless we act upon it. So it is must to be anticipated, we must anticipate the same as well. Now the fourth point comes to safe arrangement, process, method of work. Every operation of machine is set time, measure, process requires precisions of performing task. So machine should be equipped with a task time indication with all controls in one place from where it is easy to monitor, observe and control. Every function to be timed with modern logic integration system are advanced and can also be programmed with all sort of indication, and some place will only open for specific task and feed the material to be input. So here it is important to understand that all the machine can perform is specific process function. If machine is designed for that set function, it should not be used for multifunctional or manipulating the operation parameter unless machine is capable of doing so, for which manufacturer instructions to be followed or system to be designed in such a way that specific process function is controlled. Now adequate and suitable elimination. This is the fifth point. So remember, we are just talking about the management function, how to eliminate the condition. So now comes the another condition, that is adequate or suitable elimination. Now we cannot perform specific task if elimination is not proper. Every industry, this is one unsafe condition that requires lot of thought process. Sometimes expansions obstruct the elimination coming in and the altered elimination source are placed without proper thought process, which leads to obstructing the actual demand of the elimination. Hence, elimination is also important. Person will not be able to see the task he has to perform, which leads to a risky condition. Now, sixth point comes to an adequate and suitable ventilation. Many areas in the facility require ventilation. Most common mistake we do is exhausting it, correct? So what we do? We exhaust it out. If it's mechanical area, always understand that the more air you put in, more cool the system will be. So the area will remain cooler. If we exhaust the area, we end up exhausting more air than input, resulting in machine heating operation or heat generation more and more stronger increase overall heat of the area. Hence, ventilation is important part. Even some area you get uncomfortable due to lesser air changes within the area. Also say it's panel room, correct? You exhaust air out and more heat, and you are making the area more heat prone. So solution is simple, put more air in. To do so, we must have filter inlets we don't want the area to be dusty, and the cleaning frequency should increase. Simple, but will give you breathing and comforting area. Now the seventh point is safe dress and personal protective equipment. Most common error we perform in selecting the PPEs based on idle. What we do is we based on area we select it is idle, right? It should be focused on machine. PPE should be comfortable, breathable, and most importantly machine and human friendly. We must think of creating PPE free zone more than making it compulsory. Decide on design isolation system for human or machine so that human exposure is minimal. We require to wear PPE for a minimal amount of time. Some PPE or personal protective equipment are must for certain operation, but don't give it to a standard PPE is required and it should be as per site or operation demand. This way, you would need to maintain large inventory for standardized PPE and people will also feel burdened. So always remember PPE should be as per site specific condition requirement. That is the right approach. Correct? And you should always time it that okay, when you're performing this task, only wear this. So people will not feel overburdened. Rather than telling them when to wear it, it is better to tell them when not to wear it. Correct? Now coming to next comes discovering cause. Now to understand the M here we are referring to is material. If you understand how material is converted and what kind of blend of material and machine are going to change the state or the reactivity or the operation that are happening, your discovering part will become more clear. Now to do this, various techniques are adopted like risk assessment. So how we can do it? Firstly, let's understand step by step. So the first process, the very first thing that you need to do is that you need to perform a job safety analysis. Each task you perform is to convert material. This can be of any form, may it be mechanical work, processing, or chemical process, just simple task of maintenance, where the intended task of any machine is involved. We must first perform job safety analysis where how it will change, what parameter will be alarming, how it can impart or harm during the operation is anticipated. Once job safety task or job safety analysis is done, it's performed, all the activities that are to be performed by us, we would have the anticipation done and all that can happen. Correct? So now the second part is investigation of accidents. While performing the task, anticipation of accident is important. How it can happen and how it happened is important. By investing or establishing, learning from accident is also part of the exercise. Now it's not necessary that this is just part of accident that have happened in your premises. Once this can this can also be a case study. Also you can discuss and put forward anticipations of how accidents happened and what will be the impact, process and material loss and equipment damage can also be a part of this. Now accident investigation presented as a case study in front of people that okay, see, this is a similar area of our kind, this can go wrong. So that kind of documentation should be there and this should be discussed. Now third is inspection of plant and equipment. While installing system for processing material, each stage inspection, how it can be controlled or what needs to be done for safe operation is to be listed down in this process document, where we talk about inspection of each plant and equipment. What we need to see before it starts, during operation, during line clear, or during shutdown activity, or any ongoing process. Again, it's important to focus on material, how it's transformed, or how it will go, how it will go wrong. That should be the focus. So when we establish any inspection part for a plant or equipment, this should be the focus. Now coming to the fourth part, and that will be the recording and tabulation of data. Once observation, monitoring and control system is established, the material and machine, it's important to note which data is important, for what data is important, and can give analytical results. Can only do this by identifying or listing down a tabulation of data. This is management control, what is part of analysis and what is not. Some data is mandatory and are related to operational parameter, and some are system parameters and some human, or related to how material is processed for desired result. And finally, once we know what data is collected, we have to perform analysis of data for acquiring knowledge how system is performing. Correct? Now this concludes the second point of discovering causes. Now finally, let us discuss about the elimination of unsafe actions. Now this brings to the third M, that is men. Action are performed by men. What are means by which can be achieved? This this can be achieved is what we can achieve is safe. We can be saved from the unsafe action that are performed. Who is performing the action? Ultimately, men is performing the action, right? So first in the list will be personal adjustment. Men should adjust as per the area or task given to. One must first understand the task in hand, adjust accordingly to demand with acceptance. If you are not comfortable working, inform your superior and establish a system of communication. Now the second point in safety is safety education and training. No matter how good system or material process you have, but unless proper education is provided, keeping case studies and analysis, what can go wrong, people have very less acceptance. So training and education becomes an important part of defining men role. The third point is handling men is supervision. So it's important to supervise all critical activities, so a system should be in place. That activity involving high risk to be supervised. Sometimes just the presence of any overeye or a hawkeye, will help safe operation. And aptitude, primarily it will promote the safe operation. And last but not the least, establishing discipline. It is important to have discipline in work environment. Most men attitude and aptitude is result of discipline. It should not be penalized but rewarding approach. Criticism is not always the approach to get things done. If you want them to work in discipline, then you have to implement it with a watchful eye over eliminating unsafe action that might lead to a greater harm. So thank you, friend. This concludes the short video on accident prevention. Now safety shots. We will be concluding this. Like I said, it is a very short video and it goes longer because of the kind of content we have. So short is a series focusing on small safety videos. Thank you for all your support. Keep liking and sharing, and do not forget to subscribe to our for our motivation. We'll keep on posting more such videos. Stay safe.